Hey, homegirl, welcome to the Girl Just Heal podcast, where together we learn how to navigate our healing journeys in a way that challenges us to destroy limits and break down walls that have been keeping us subject to our trauma. I am your host, your favorite homegirl, Neimoya Basden. And just like you, I am on this healing journey, navigating the ups and downs of this thing called life, while simultaneously allowing God to usher me right into the place where He wants me to be. So get comfy, grab your journal, and let's talk about all the ways we can heal, grow, and evolve together. Hey, homegirls, welcome to the Girl Just Heal podcast. I'm your favorite homegirl, Neimoya Basden, and Chad, listen. So how are you doing? I pray that you are doing well. I pray that you are feeling well, all of that good stuff. Happy New Year again. 2025 then came in, and I just pray that this year you've been able to start on some things that you may have been pushing to the side last year. You may have pushed them to the side a couple of years ago, but I pray that in this season, God gives you the strength and the confidence and the courage and the wisdom. He presents the resources so that you can step out on faith and just do that thing, okay? Because if we're being honest, the hardest thing to do is to start, because you always gonna look at, well, I don't have what I need to get started, or, well, what if don't nobody want to listen to me? What if don't nobody want what I have to offer? Baby, you cannot let that hold you back in 2025, okay? So I just pray that you get the courage and the wisdom. Pray to God for the strength to just get out there and start and do whatever it is that God has placed on your heart to do. It is so like the time is over for you holding yourself back. Let me just tell you that, homegirl, the time is done for you making excuses about why you cannot step forth and do something in this season. Baby, you got what it takes, all right? Even though it don't look like you got what it takes, I am here to tell you that you have what it takes. But sometimes you have to step into that space. You have to start operating in whatever area God has called you to. And then along the way, stuff is going to be revealed. Stuff is going to be provided. But first, God has to see if you're going to step into it. And let me just slow down, because I'm getting into the message. That's part of the message that we're going to talk about today. And let me just slow down. So first things first, we're going to go over a couple of homegirl updates, and that is being continue to go to girljustheal.com to get your prayer cards. Listen, y'all, the homegirl merch is coming, and I know y'all are wondering, y'all like, okay, you said January 2025. Where is it at? Baby, when I tell you the merch is in the lab, listen, it's in the lab, baby. It is cooking up. I have a couple of the pieces, and I was going to wear one of the pieces in this episode, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until the merch is about to drop on the website. So if you have not joined the homegirl list, go over to girljustheal.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of any page that you own on the website, and click join the homegirl list, put your email in, and baby, you will be one of the first ones to know about this homegirl merch that is coming. I'm so excited. I know some homegirls have been like, we can't wait to see the merch, like we ready. So listen, get on that homegirl list, because they are going to be the first ones to find out. And I don't know, they may be able to save a little coins, okay, in the homegirl list, because the homegirl list get a lot of things that, you know, people don't. It's because you're an insider, and all it takes is for you to drop your email. So drop your email, join the homegirl list, and prepare for this new homegirl merch. So the next homegirl update, Girl Just Heal Conference 2025 is happening. Y'all, let me tell y'all. I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to tarry on too long, but I think it was last week or a couple days ago. I can't remember. It was like last week. Let's just say last week. Okay. I got a notification that homegirls had been purchasing their tickets. And so even though like homegirls been purchasing their tickets since it dropped, it was just the influx of tickets that was purchased last week. I was like, oh God, like you for real? Like, God, you serious about this year? And so I just said all that to say, get your ticket. I don't want you to miss out. There were homegirls last year who they was like, baby, if somebody don't come, can you sell me their ticket? I will pay whatever. Like, seriously, y'all. I have the proof, okay? Your homegirl got the receipts. They's like, look, I'll pay whatever just to be in the room. But when registration closed, it closed. And I don't want you to miss out. So go to gorgeoushillconference.com, grab your ticket. Make sure that you are in the building September of this year. It is going down. God is faithful. God is great. And baby, we are coming together to execute this year. So make sure you go ahead and grab your ticket. I can't wait to meet you in the room. All right. So now we are going to shout out a homegirl. Y'all already know how we going to do, baby. We are going to shout out a homegirl. And this homegirl review, it really warmed my heart. All of them warmed my heart, but this homegirl review, it really did warm my heart. And this review comes from Mahogany, and she titled it Gratefulness, Restoration, and Healing. And she did leave a 5-star rating, so thank you so much for that, homegirl. And she says, thank you so much for all your words of wisdom, support, and truthfulness. The work you do is amazing, and I truly appreciate you for helping me along my new journey of life. I started listening a while ago and haven't stopped listening since. You are truly a blessing to those who are listening. And first of all, Mahogany, homegirl, thank you so much for leaving this review. I appreciate you. I'm so glad to have you as part of the family, and I look forward to continuing to heal, grow, and evolve together. So the reason I said this warmed my heart, homegirls, is because of the title. It says gratefulness, restoration, and healing. I'm going to just park and let that marinate, whatever that means to you. Gratefulness, restoration, and healing. Now, we ain't going to get into that in this episode, but this may need to be an episode that I do. Again, she said gratefulness, restoration, and healing. That was the title of her review. And that warmed my heart because so much comes up for me when I read that. And I just been meditating on that. And I'm like, Lord, I need to journal about that. So much comes up for me, but we ain't gonna get into it in this episode because it's really, really something that I do want to talk about a season of life that I have been in. And I know, y'all, that we do our most favorite part of the episode. I love the prayer cards. Make sure y'all still go to gorgeoushill.com, get y'all a pack of prayer cards. And I always keep the prayer cards on deck, okay? Let me just show y'all, baby, Gorgeous Hill prayer cards is always on deck. And I know this would be the time we usually would get into the prayer cards, but I just want to really get into this message that God has placed on my heart. And not only has God placed this on my heart, but this is literally the season of life that I am in. And I have been in this season of life for a couple of months now. And so I really wanted to just come and share this. Of course, as I was thinking about it, it was like a personal conversation to me and God. And I'm like, okay, God, this is how I feel. I really don't know what I need to do with this information. And a lot of times when I'm talking to God about how I feel, it will often dawn on me that, hey, Neimoya, if you feeling this way, then you may have homegirls, homeboys, like people out here, they feeling this way as well. And while I don't just share every intimate moment and every intimate conversation I have with God or every single thing that I'm going through, because you ain't supposed to, okay? Let me let y'all just in on that. Y'all ain't supposed to be just sharing everything with everybody, okay? You got to keep some stuff sacred. You got to keep some stuff in just the confines of you and God and your home. I'm a firm believer of that. But as I was praying to God and I was thinking, I'm like, Lord, I've been in a season where God is requiring stillness. So he's requiring me not to move as much, not to do as much, not to to just be still, be in his presence and let him work it out, let him do it. And this has been, listen, it's been an interesting season for me. And the reason it's been interesting is because I shared with y'all in the last episode that I've been on my faith journey for a minute. Like, I have been building my faith in God. And we know per the Bible that faith without what? Faith without works is dead. Like, faith without works really mean nothing. And so as I've been building my faith and on my faith journey, the only thing I can do and I'm supposed to do is put actions to my faith to make it all work together for my good, right? Because that's word, that's biblical. That's what we are supposed to do as believers. But now I've been in a season where while I'm building my faith, and this is the reason I say it's kind of a weird season because it almost contradicts what faith stands for. But I've been in a season of while I'm building my faith, God is requiring me to be still because I have done all of the work that I am able to do. And God is telling me, okay, now I need you to sit back and I need you to let me do it. Now I need you to sit back and I need you to trust that I am going to work it out how it has always been destined to work out in your favor. But I don't need you to do anything now. And I kind of dealt with that because I'm like, God, hold up. Like, now you telling me to be still. You telling me not to move. You telling me that I've done all that I can do and you gonna take it from here. But I'm building my faith and I'm trusting in you and I'm hoping that things are going to work out and I'm doing all these things like I'm on this new journey in life, but you telling me to be still. And God is like, he's not. And like when I was having this conversation with God, it was almost like he was telling me that you have done everything that you can do up to this point. You have shown me that you are going to step out on faith and do it. You've shown me you're going to put skin in the game. You've shown me that if I call you and I send you and I tell you to go, that you're going to get up and do it with no questions asked. You have shown me that. You shown me that you have faith the size of a mustard seed. You showed me that you don't mind putting in the work. God is saying you have shown me all of these things that I have required of you. And now that I know I truly have your yes. Listen, catch this word. That's all. Just catch this word. God is saying now that you have shown me, it makes me emotional, that I truly have your yes. Now I can get you to just sit back and let me work it out. Because you showed me that you were going to go and you were going to go to the ends of whatever situation it was just to show me and prove to me that you have faith in me, that you trust me, that you believe in me. And he's like, you've shown me what I needed to see. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. I know for me, that has been the hardest thing because I'm like, no, God, look, I'm on this faith journey. I have to prove this to you. And God is saying, you've already proven yourself to me. He don't need us to continue to prove ourselves time and time and time and time again. You know, because sometimes we have people in our lives or situations and things happen to where we like, no, you got to prove yourself to me. You got to prove that you're going to ride for me. You got to prove that if times get tough, you ain't going to walk away from me. You got to prove that you my friend. You got to prove that you got good intentions. And we continue to take people through cycles of proving things to us. And they can be proving things to us for years. It's like, like, prove it to me for 2 more months. I know you already been proving it for a year. Prove it to me for 2 more months. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll ease up. God is like, I don't operate like that. God ain't prolonging us proving anything to him. He just wants to see our initial response when he calls us. He wants to see our initial response when things don't look too good. He wants to see our initial response when grief comes to attack us, when we are introduced to wilderness and territory that we are not too fond of. He wants to see our response. What is our posture? And once we prove that to him, that's all he needs. He just needs to know what your posture is. He needs to see how you are going to stand through the test of times. When hard times come, are you going to fold or are you going to keep going? And this is what God had been saying to me. And I'm like, Lord, I've been dealing with that because I'm like, it almost contradicts just everything that I have been doing on my faith journey. But God had to prove to me, he had to comfort me and send me that word. Like, no, everything you've been doing is good. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. Everything you've been doing on this faith journey, it is amazing. It is what I required of you. You have met the requirements. It's what I needed you to do. It's what I wanted you to do. But now let me take it from here. And so I've been in this space of, okay, am I going to continue to try and keep on trying to make stuff work together? Keep on trying to do stuff so it can turn out how I want it to? Or am I going to fully surrender to God and say, okay, in every season, even though I don't understand this season, because it almost feels to me like I am in a season on top of a season. Like I told you, I've been building my faith journey, but now in the midst of building my faith, I've encountered a season of stillness. And so it's like, how can they both coexist? Like, God, I don't get it. Okay. God, I'm confused. You got to help me out. And I really feel like this is why God sent me that word of comfort, just letting me know that it was nothing that you were doing wrong. Like you didn't mess up in no area. In fact, you did everything right. So me putting you in this season of stillness right now, this is not punishment. This is just, okay, you've done all that you can do. Now let me take over and let me finish the job and show you that things really do work out for your good. All that work that you put in, it's not for no reason. Okay, it's not going to return void. Your work is still going to stand. Your work is still going to help this come to pass. But God is like, you've done all that you can do. Now let me take over. And I want to encourage you, homegirl, that if you get in that season of life where you feel like it's a stillness, like you feel like you in a quiet season, and not even necessarily, I can't even call it a quiet season, honestly, because I'm still like talking to God, speaking to God. God is still moving and doing things, but it's just a be still season. And there's a difference between being still and being quiet. Okay, so that's why I had to take that back. I couldn't call this a quiet season. It's just a season of stillness, a season of me being still, a season of me to stop trying to do whatever it was I was trying to do, stop trying to work it out and let God take it from here. It's almost like passing the baton. Okay, now I used to do track in school. I didn't run track, but I did shot put. So, but when it comes to running track, somebody is at the line and when you run up, like you got to pass them the baton, right? And it almost feels like that. And I'm not saying it in a way of, oh, well, God is just waiting on me because I'm so superior to God and I'm above God. Like, baby, I ain't saying it in that way, but I'm saying it as this is just a revelation God revealed to me. It's like being like passing a baton, being at that line. And it's like God is looking at me and he's cheering me on. And he's like, yes, keep putting skin in the game. Keep having faith. Keep believing. Yep. Keep trusting. Keep being in your word. Keep doing the things you're supposed to do. He's encouraging me to come to that finish line. I know you're getting tired, but keep on going. Keep going to that finish line. And then I pass him the baton and he's like, let me carry you the rest of the way. Woo! God said, let me carry you the rest of the way. And so that's the season of life that I've been in where I have been like, okay, God, let me take heed. Let me listen to you and let you carry me the rest of the way, because I've carried myself to a point and like, this is the furthest that I can go. Okay, I can't carry myself anymore. And God is like, that's where I step in and I want to carry you. So I want to encourage you to let God carry you, homegirl. Listen, let God carry you the rest of the way. You've done your good deeds. You've put in the work, baby. You've put the skin in the game. You have been building your faith. You have been doing everything right. Okay. For once in your life, girl, you've been doing everything right. And God is saying, let me carry you the rest of the way. This is not punishment. This is not because you got in trouble. This is not because you've done something and now I got to go back and correct you. God is saying this ain't none of that. This is because you have done what you were supposed to do. You have shown God in this season of your life that you are still willing to go and to be present and to do the work. And God is saying, yes, now I can carry you the rest of the way because I can trust you. you listening to this, can God trust you? Can God trust you to do the work even when you don't even know if it's going to work out? You don't know what the outcome is going to be. But when he calls you, can he trust you to do what it is that he is requiring you to do? And your requirements may look different than mine. That's why I cannot sit here and just name out this list of requirements, because God could be requiring you to do something totally different than he required me to do. Even if we're going through the same situations, but we have to remember that our journeys are different. So your requirements can be totally different than mine, totally different than your mom's, totally different than your best friend's. Our requirements are going to be different, but the bigger picture is, can God trust you to complete those requirements so that he then can carry you the rest of the way? So that is it. That is it for this episode, homegirls. I pray that you were blessed by this episode. If you were blessed by this episode, comment, okay? If you are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I want you to leave a review, and I want you to mention this episode, okay? Whatever the title of this episode is going to be, I don't know yet, but I want you to mention the title of this episode and let me know what you took from this episode. Let me know how this episode really resonated with you. Let me know how you feel about this episode. If this episode encouraged you, I want to read all that. And you never know, you might be the next homegirl to make it as a shout out on our next episode. So that is it, y'all. Y'all know how we going to close this episode out. We are going to close out with the Girl Just Heal mantra, and we're going to take a deep breath in and out. And that is just releasing all of the cares of today, yesterday, this week, this month, anything that's come up to hinder us. We are releasing that off of us, and we're going to just drop in, close our eyes, and repeat the Girl Just Heal mantra together. So the Girl Just Heal mantra is, I accept myself for who I am. I free myself from all fear. And today, I choose to heal. I accept myself for who I am. I free myself from all fear. And today, I choose to heal. I accept myself for who I am. I free myself from all fear. And today, I choose to heal. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Girl Just Heal podcast. I'm your favorite homegirl, Neimoya Basden. And until we speak again, girl, just heal. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Girl Just Heal podcast. Be sure to connect with us on social media at Girl Just Heal. And if you need an extra dose of support during your healing journey, join our private Facebook community where we can continue to heal, grow, and evolve together.